Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy, and today I'm going to be finally doing my blue-white control list that I played in Vegas, and I know this video is really delayed. Vegas happened like a month ago, and I'm only now filming this. Yeah, I don't really have any viable excuses, I would say. I think the reason that I kind of put it off for as long as I did is because I wanted to make a couple of changes to the deck, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the changes, but like I didn't know what the changes were gonna be because I haven't played tested Modern since Vegas. I have not played Modern in like a month. So, yeah. I wanted to do a video talking about the deck and like what I thought and like how I feel like it ran and like how I feel about blue-white, because I know a lot of people think Jeskai is strictly better, and I am going to do a video comparing the two and like why I just really like blue-white. I've always really liked blue-white. This list that if you've been following my channel for a while, so since like 2016, you know that I played a blue-white list that's kind of similar to this. It ran like Wall of Denial. It was really, really sweet, and I really missed that, and I kind of wanted to do that. However, I feel like that I'm going to talk about like the creature base and stuff and what I want to do differently. How I felt like the deck played. I mean, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to like gauge, I would say, like, that, because I played in a couple of events, but like it's hard. Like I didn't have any testing with the deck. Like I literally just built this deck and like played it. So it was kind of like hard to like say, oh yeah, like this is how the deck played. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm not gonna spend any time talking about the mana base except for one thing. I ran the 4 Field of Ruins and 1 Ghost Quarter package in this, and I was really happy with it. I feel like that is one advantage that I really enjoy about blue-white, is it runs a lot of land disruption, and I'm a huge fan. What I like too about Field of Ruin, what I think is really important about this card that I actually learned this weekend, because it's like the first time I've played with the card, is that it is not a May ability. So if your opponent has put information on top, like with Serum Visions or something like that, you have to make them shuffle. It is not a May ability, which is very important. Even if there's no reason for that, they have to shuffle. Very important. Also it makes you shuffle, which can be really good with your own Serum Visions. But yeah, I really liked this package, which is one reason I just really enjoyed blue-white. Also, I really enjoyed one of the Ghost Quarter too. I really enjoyed that. Okay, let's get into the deck. So the deck runs 7 sorceries, pretty straightforward. Serum Visions. I've been a huge fan of this over Opt. I used to be liking Opt in Grixis Control, and then I switched to Serum Visions. I just feel like that extra card that you see with the Scry is just really important. There's not a whole lot to say. This is very standard. And then we have 3 of Supreme Verdict. Was really on I think I want to run 4. I'm actually really happy that I ran 3, and I'll tell you why. It's 4 mana, which is pretty steep. I'm also a huge fan of of Settle the Wreckage, which we'll talk about when we get to Instance. And if anything, I would probably do a 2-2 split or a 3-2 split on that, depending on how heavy. It's 4 mana though, which is really high, and I feel like when you're running Celestial Colonies and they come in tapped, like, and you have Hallowed Fountains, which like you may want to preserve your life total. Like you may not be able to cast this card until like turn 5 or so. That I feel like the meta is super fast right now, which is why I only like 3 Supreme Verdict, and it's also sorcery speed, which on turn 4 you can tap out and do this, and then your opponent can play something super threatening, and you may not have a board wipe for it, so it just kind of sucks. So yeah, I liked the 3 of Supreme Verdict in this list. Planeswalker package, Elspeth Sun's Champion. I run this card in my main board. If you know anything about me, you know this is my favorite Planeswalker of all time. I love her. And it's funny is I'm just talking about how high mana cost this stuff is, and like saying I run Elspeth Sun's Champion. She's 6 mana. It doesn't really matter to me. I love her. I feel like I still feel very strongly about putting her in the main. She's a huge win condition. She's really good for blockers. She's just amazing all around. There's not really, like, I can keep talking on and on about her. She's amazing. Okay, and then we have 2 of Teferi. Now, I am not someone who is, I would say, on the Teferi train. Now, obviously I'm running it, and obviously it's a good card. And I feel like when I say this, people think that means I don't like the card. However, here's my thing. is I just haven't seen Teferi impact the board on my board yet, where I have been like, I'm a believer. Now, that's not to say that I think I shouldn't run him or I should cut him. It's just like, he hasn't, it's you know when you like, when like everyone tells you that a card is great and you never draw it, and you're like, okay, everyone tells me the card's great, but I've never interacted with it before. That's my feelings towards Teferi. I love him. He's boss. Obviously, he's a great card. I just haven't seen, like, the impact because I just haven't drawn him, or he's a 5-mana sorcery, guys. Like, there's been stages where I draw him and I'm like, I play Teferi and then I die, you know? Like, it's just awkward. So, yeah, I'm not, like, I'm not on board with Teferi. Obviously, he's great, and obviously I'm running him. I just haven't had enough testing with him to really see his true potential. I do think the 5-mana cost is really steep. Again, I say as I run Elspeth's Enchantment, I don't know how to fully explain it. I just haven't seen the impact of Teferi yet. Obviously, he's great. Yeah. Okay, then we talk about our instance. Okay, for everyone who said, Tracy, why are you only running 2 cryptic commands? I'm going to tell you a story. I was listening to the GAM podcast. I don't know why I keep calling it the GAM podcast. The GAM podcast. Love that podcast. And they were talking about how, oh yeah, you know, like cryptic command, you really shouldn't be running this card right now. And I'm like, thank you. Everyone yelled at me saying, Tracy, why are you only running 2 cryptic commands? This card's amazing. Do you know what the card does? Yeah, okay, cool. Cryptic command's a boss card, and I really like it a lot in blue-white and Jeskai. However, it's 4 mana, guys. 4 mana. I was trying to, like, lower my curve, and, like, this is super steep. And again, it was just, like, I didn't feel right about running any more than that. Now, after playing with the card, I think that it's good to run through Cryptic Command, and that's probably the place that I want to be. However, right now, I think 2 is fine. Feel free to disagree. I'm just going off Jerry Thompson. I trust his opinion. He's like a really good Magic player, and if he tells me that Cryptic Command's not good right now, I believe that Cryptic Command is not good right now. Feel free to disagree. Whatever. I'm running 2, and it's my list. It's not yours. If you want to change it, you go ahead and do what makes you happy, but people get so mad about this card, and it's like, you just need to chill. Okay. 2 Logic Knots. Okay, so a lot of people were talking about like negate as well instead of Logic Knot, and I kind of felt this card was a little awkward at times because I don't have as many things going to the graveyard. It felt a little strange to me. I'm not super sold on Logic Knot yet. I don't really know. It may just be negates in the future. I haven't decided about that split. I am a person who only believes in 2 Logic Knots. I hate 3. I hate 4. That literally makes me want to shudder physically. That's totally in card, unless you're doing mad stuff in the graveyard. But like 2, you want things in your graveyard because you're on Snapcaster Mage, so it's like you don't want to delve too much, and it's just, yeah. I like Logic Knot a lot. I'm not sure yet. It may just be a negate. We'll see. Because you have so much creature removal, you know? 4 Path to Exile, speaking of creature removal, there's not a whole lot to say about that. Yeah, card's great. Settle the Wreckage. Really love this card. Very, very impressed by it. Blows a lot of people out. This card's just amazing. People in Modern are so greedy and they don't run a lot of basics, so you can just really get people with this card. It's amazing. Okay, Sphinx's Revelation. I know there's a lot of people who like Glimmer of Genius. I haven't played with Glimmer of Genius, but I know that I'm a huge fan of Sphinx's Revelation, and I was playing with Sphinx's Revelation before Glimmer of Genius was even a Magic card. I really love this card. I think you cast it at late stages of the game and you get such ahead of it. It's really good in control mirrors if you manage to cast it. Like, this card is all around just great. And you gain life too, which is very important. Okay, the Creature Suite, this is where things are going to change. I ran 2 of Restoration Angel. I've always really liked Restoration Angel. I felt like my curve was just really high in this deck, if that makes sense. I think that was one reason that I felt like I just didn't do enough, especially in early stages of the game. And Restoration Angel was getting, you know, like, I wanted to only run 1. 1 was kind of like my number, but it's a win condition. And then also, I'll talk with that with Wall of Omens. I ran these cards together because there's really good synergy with themselves. Wall of Omens is really good on its own because you have an 0/4, it blocks so many things. If it dies, you literally do not care. But I think the issue that I was finding is I felt like I was just kind of playing Restoration Angel and Wall of Omens, And I felt like I just wasn't getting the full value out of them, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like I was just flashing in Restoration Angel with nothing to blink, and it was really awkward. It was just a 3/4, which, listen, I'm totally a fan of the flash in this with no effect. Like, I do that with Snapcaster Mage I do that all the time. I'm like, flash the Snapcaster, and they're like, targeting, and I'm like, nothing. I'm like, I just have a 2/1, and I'm just going to continue to beat you with this 2/1. That's how I felt like Restoration Angel was to me, and I was not a huge fan of what it did in this deck. Now, with that being said, I've played with Restoration Angel in the past, and I still love this card. I think it's great. I just think, particularly in this build, I don't know, like, in the current meta, whatever it is, I just don't really like it that much in this deck. And then for Snapcaster Mage, duh. Okay, Enchantments. 2 of Search for Escanta. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. This card's really standard in, like, blue, white, and Jeskai control lists. I love it. 2 is, like, literally the perfect number. No more, no less. Card's great. And then 2 of Spreading Seas. Again, everyone and their mother yelled at me, Tracy, why are you only running 2 Spreading Seas? You should be running 3. You should be running 4. Whatever. Okay, guys, I had literally no testing with the deck. I built the deck and I was like, cool, play it. Obviously now I want to run. Okay, now here's where it gets tricky, is I have all of these slots because I'm basically going to be cutting the Wall of Omens and the Restoration Angels from the build. So with that being said, I have 6 slots currently. What do I do with those 6 slots? Now, this has really been where I've struggled, and I'm not sure where to go. So here's my thing, is I want cheap interactions. I want cheap removal. I was thinking one of Condemn. I've played with Condemn in the past. I really liked it. So I'm thinking as a cheap thing, it's really good. It gains some life. Who cares? I was thinking one of that. I was also thinking of another, or potentially 4 of Spreading Seas. I just don't like that this card, you do it on your turn. I'm not a huge fan of that. But I am looking into it as definitely a 3 of. I don't know about a 4 of. I may test the 3rd slot out. I actually have a 3rd one, and then I'll kind of go from there and then potentially decide if I want a 4th. It draws you a card, which I think is really important, and I think because we're cutting the Wall of Omens, we're losing some of our card advantage. So I think Spreading Seas is particularly really good. So there's that. Okay, and then I want to run a Torrential Gearhulk. That was kind of one of the things that I think I really missed. Torrential Gearhulk, I understand it's a lot of mana, but like, it's 6, it's only a 1 of, and I just found this card really good as just another big thing. I think I wanted to cut the number of creatures as well too, so that it makes the Torrential Gearhulks and the Snapcasters better. Like, if you just have Wall of Omens in your yard, it's just really awkward with Snapcaster. Like, there's nothing to do there. There's no interaction. There's no synergy. So I think I wanted to, like, up the number of instant sorceries, because I only have 17 right now, which really isn't a lot. So I think I'll do that, and then I have 3 extra slots. I was thinking of a Secure the Waste. I think this card's really good. And then I think I need 2 more, just kind of either like counter spells or like I need something there. I haven't really decided what, but I really like the Secure the Waste, because if it gets countered, you can always snap it or Torrential Gearhulk it back. You can pay with it with Torrential Gearhulk, I'm pretty sure. And I realized with Torrential, you can only do instant, you can't do sorcery. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so that is the deck. Now, okay guys, so I just talked through my matchups that I played, but to be honest, since this has been like a month since Vegas, I really don't remember. Like, I have notes and stuff, but I didn't take that great of notes, which is my fault. So I don't want to go through them because I feel like it's just a waste of time, to be honest. I think it's like there's not really good enough things for me to really say about how the matchups went. I lost a lot of favorable matchups, and I attribute that to lack of knowledge on the deck that I was playing and the current build. I keep going back to cheap removal. I felt like I didn't have enough of it, and that is something that I'm going to work on in this build, is rebuilding this deck. I talked about a couple of changes that I want to make, and just kind of like go from there and really kind of see what I want to do there. But yeah, that was it. I know I did this really like quickly. Once I find the deck, like tune the deck, I will do an updated deck tech where I go thoroughly in detail of like why I do this and why I make this. This was just kind of like a, hey, this is what I played in Vegas. This is what I want to change pretty much. But like I said, I'm really still, I don't know 100% yet what I'm going to do with some of the things. So But yeah, I hope that you guys liked this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.